The City Council has approved $500,000 to hire a private law firm to defend the city in a lawsuit filed by former Fire Chief Kristin Crowley. You remember she was removed as chief by Mayor Bass after the Palisades Fire.
So Los Angeles just approved $500,000 to fight a lawsuit from the former fire chief. And I already know what some people are thinking. Good. Let her sue them. Good. Expose the city. Good. Make them pay. But here's the problem. They do not pay. You know who pays? You pay. I pay. The taxpayer pays. And that is the part I never hear anyone speaking of. When a city employee is fired, when a politician makes a bad decision, when leadership fails, when somebody in government behaves crazy, recklessly, goes nuts, and then the lawsuit comes. The check does not come out of Karen Bass's pocket. No. The check does not come out of the city council's pocket. No. The check does not come out of the personal bank accounts of the people who made the decision. No. The check comes from the public. It comes from the same people already getting taxed to death. It comes from the same people driving over broken roads, the same people watching streetlights go out, the same people watching homelessness explode, the same people watching fire protection, police protection, sanitation, and basic city services get worse every year. And then, when the lawsuits come, they reach right back into your pocket again. That's the game, ladies and gentlemen. They make the mistake. You pay for the mistake. They defend the mistake. You pay for the defense. They settle a mistake. You pay for the settlement. And then they turn around and ask you for more taxes because somehow the city still doesn't have enough money. That is not accountability. That's a taxpayer-funded escape plan. Now let's talk about this former fire chief lawsuit.
Former LAFD Fire Chief Kristin Crowley has now filed an employee retaliation lawsuit against the city of Los Angeles.
This department is underfunded, correct?
That is absolutely correct. Sounding the alarm in regard to the need for additional resources and funding for our firefighters.
Weeks later, Crowley was out of the job.
I just met with Chief Crowley and removed her as fire chief.
At the time, Mayor Bass said she removed Crowley in part because she didn't hold over roughly 1,000 firefighters from the previous shift before the Palisades Fire started. Suit says Crowley now seeks accountability for Bass's calculated efforts to punish a dedicated LAFD civil servant for exposing the truth and for choosing the safety of the city and its firefighters over the interests of Bass and her cover-up.
People may look at this and say, good, she should sue. The city needs to be exposed, and maybe the city does need to be exposed. Maybe there was retaliation. Maybe there was scapegoating. Maybe the former chief has a case. That's for the court to decide.
Us, former LA Fire Chief Kristin Crowley is not getting her head job back after city leaders denied her appeal for reinstatement.
In a contentious and emotional hearing, the Los Angeles City Council voted 13-2, upholding Mayor Karen Bass's firing of the former chief. KTLA's Jennifer McGraw joins us live in downtown LA with today's heated hearing. Jen?
Sharon, Micah, emotions were definitely running high as multiple people took the podium, some of them in support of Mayor Bass, but a lot of them were in support of Chief Crowley. She needed 10 out of the 15 council members to support her, and she didn't get that.
13 ayes, 2 no.
While the LA City Council voted against reinstatement, with only 2 members voting to reinstate her, Chief Kristin Crowley says she's grateful to be backed by the LAFD she's dedicated her life to.
And I appreciate the love and support from my fellow firefighters, the LAFD, the community. We're going to continue to advocate to get the LAFD where we need to go.
Crowley will remain LA's former fire chief, but her appeal also giving her the platform to refute all the reasons Mayor Karen Bass says she fired Crowley.
I did not refuse to conduct an after-action report. And let me be clear, this is a false accusation.
But the bigger issue is this. Why are the people of Los Angeles always forced to pay for the failures of leadership? Why is there no personal consequence for the politicians who create these situations? Why is the public always the financial crash pad? Because that is what we are. We're the cushion. They crash the car, we pay for the repairs. And this is not just about this lawsuit. This is a pattern. Look at the Vanessa Bryant case. And let me be very clear, what happened in that case was wrong, extremely wrong. The issue was about county personnel sharing unauthorized photos from the crash scene. That should have never happened.
Nearly $30 million. That is how much money Vanessa Bryant is getting from Los Angeles County. Bryant, wife of former NBA star Kobe Bryant, sued LA County over photos of the scene of the helicopter crash that killed Bryant, their 13-year-old daughter Gianna, and 7 others. Bryant had argued that those pictures caused her and her family irreparable harm after they were shared by members of the LA Sheriff's Department. Kobe Bryant's helicopter went down just north of Los Angeles in foggy weather back in January of 2020.
When the settlement came, who paid? The county did. And where does the county money come from? You, the public, the taxpayer. That settlement was reported at nearly $29 million. And again, people celebrated, yay, like some powerful institution got punished. But did the institution really get punished? Or did you get punished? Did I get punished? Did the taxpayer get punished? Because the people who actually did the wrong are not the ones with the massive check. We are. And this is where Los Angeles has trained people backwards. They train people to cheer for lawsuits against government because they think government is some separate thing. But government is funded by you. You see? Government is funded by you. Every lawsuit, every outside attorney, every settlement, every mistake, every oops, every we'll investigate ourselves, every we deny wrongdoing but agree to settle. That is your money, my money, our money, public money. That is money that could have gone to fixing real problems. So when the city council approves $500,000 to fight a lawsuit, that should not be treated like some minor legal expense. That should be treated like a warning sign, because that's $500,000 before we even get to a possible settlement. Huh?
Meantime, the LA City Council has approved $500,000 to fight a lawsuit by ex-Fire Chief Kristin Crowley. She was fired following intense scrutiny over the city's handling of the Palisades Fire. Crowley did try to overturn her removal, but her appeal was denied by the City Council. She's now suing for damages for illegal workplace retaliation.
$500,000 just to fight. And if the city loses or decides to settle, that number can grow. And when it grows, they do not send the bill to the people who caused the mess. They send the bill to Los Angeles. This is why I keep saying the system is designed to protect itself. And you got to understand that. Politicians get immunity. They're using other people's money. Departments get legal defense. Officials, they get covered. The city, they get lawyers. County, lawyers. Everybody gets protection except for us, the taxpayer. We get the bill. And that's why these lawsuits need to be looked at differently. Not in a emotional lens. Not like a sporting event. Not like, I like this person, so I hope they win. Not like, I hate that politician, so I hope the city loses. No. The question should be, who caused this? Who authorized it? Who ignored the warning signs? Who made the decision? And why are they not personally accountable when their decisions cost the public millions? Because this is the truth. Some mistakes should be fireable offenses. Some bad decisions should end careers completely. Some reckless behavior should not be covered by the taxpayer. Yes, politicians and public officials need some protection to do their jobs. Understandable. You can't have every official personally sued into the ground for every decision. But there has to be a line. And in Los Angeles, that line keeps disappearing for some reason. If you knowingly mislead the public, if you retaliate against someone, if you cover up something, if you violate someone's rights, if you create a legal disaster through arrogance, through corruption or incompetence, why should you be the only one punished? Why should the same people who already suffer under bad leadership also have to finance the cleanup? That's the part people keep missing. A lawsuit against the city is not free money. A lawsuit against the city is not justice falling from the sky. It's money being moved from one public pocket to another while the people responsible hide behind the system.
In the days following the Palisades and Eaton fires, LAFD Chief Kristin Crowley blamed a lack of funding for keeping dozens of fire trucks out of the front lines at the height of those devastating wildfires. Now, only on 5, we're getting a look at those fire trucks that remain unserviced. KTLA's Annie Rose Ramos live in Lincoln Heights with the story for us. Annie Rose, good morning.
Jess, good morning to you. We are standing in front of just one of LAFD maintenance yards. This one happens to be the biggest. We were granted rare and exclusive access inside, and what we saw were dozens upon dozens of emergency vehicles, engines, ladders, ambulances, all of them sitting here instead of out on the front lines during the Eaton and Palisades fire. Why are they sitting here?
Well, I don't know exactly why each one is here, but I could tell you what has caused them to be here. What's caused them to be here is the LAFD does not have the funding mechanism to supply enough mechanics and enough money for the parts to repair these engines, the trucks, the ambulances.
You say some of these are new here. They're all sitting in this lot. Could they have been helpful? Could they have been used during the Eaton Palisades fire?
Oh, absolutely, right? More is better, and if they're available and if they have the proper equipment, we had more members report to assist during those fires than we had spots for them. So easily, if we would have had an engine, let's just take engine 57, if we could staff it with the minimum equipment, hoses, tools and equipment that you need to address a fire, with the staffing, absolutely, you could go in and make a difference.
So what you're saying is that you had firefighters and not enough trucks in order to put them in for the fires?
Absolutely, yes, that is a fact.
All right, we're standing here with Councilwoman Tracy Park.
As a resident, as a taxpayer, and as the council member for the district that is now home to our city's largest disaster in history, it is incredibly frustrating to see all of these assets sitting out of service. Well, you know, hard to know given the weather conditions and the lack of water and other challenges that were experienced in the Palisades fire, but on any given day in the city of Los Angeles, we have assets that are out of circulation and out of service. There are large swaths of the city with no resources available. And when we don't have the equipment that our firefighters and paramedics need to keep our city safe, that impacts everyone in our city.
And that is why Los Angeles never ever changes, because the people in charge do not feel the pain of their own decisions. We do. They make the policy. We live under it. They make the mistake. We pay for it. They create the lawsuit. We fund both sides of it. And then they walk into the next press conference like nothing ever happened. So no, I'm not celebrating another lawsuit against the city. I'm asking a bigger question. Why does Los Angeles keep creating lawsuits in the first place? Why does bad leadership keep turning into public debt? Why do taxpayers, you and I, keep funding the consequences of decisions we never made? And why are the people who caused the damage still protected by the same system they damaged? Because this is not just about one former fire chief, no. This is not just about one lawsuit. This is about a city where accountability has been replaced with legal defense, where consequences have been replaced with settlements, where somehow, some way, leadership, so-called leadership, keeps failing upward, and us, the people, the taxpayers, pay downward.
This is a live look from CBS Skywatch from our sister station there, showing that massive cloud of smoke hovering over the city. Officials say at least 10 people are now confirmed dead. We want to show you this scene from the Pacific Palisades. Homes there in absolute ruin. Officials estimate as many as 10,000 homes, businesses, and other buildings have burned. Nearly 180,000 people are under evacuation orders.
Los Angeles does not have a money problem. Los Angeles has an accountability problem. And until the people who create these disasters start feeling the consequences personally, nothing will ever change. The lawsuits get filed, the lawyers get paid, they get rich, the settlement gets approved, and the politicians move on with their lives eating Grey Poupon, while we, the taxpayer, eat at Chipotle and get robbed again. So, the next time you see someone suing the city and everybody starts cheering, ask one simple question: who is really paying for this? Because in Los Angeles, California, the answer is always the same. You are.